I am so sorry that I brought the death of your son, father, brother, uncle, grandson, nephew, and the rest of your family to your home. Katie, I understand a mother's love, and I am sorry I broke your heart. My heart is broken for all of you.
Good evening, Black people and all allies fighting for Black liberation, Black prosperity, and Black joy. I'm Nayyera Haq, filling in for Charles Lowe tonight. Welcome to Prime. That was Kim Potter, former police officer, convicted of killing 20-year-old Daunte Wright. She shot him with a gun instead of the taser for a traffic violation. Today, we found out her sentence. Prosecutors and the Attorney General asked for 7 years in prison. Potter was sentenced to 16 months. Now, this is not normal, even solely by legal standards. The state guideline for someone like Potter, who has been convicted of first and second degree manslaughter, is between 6 and 8.5 years in prison. And it's far below the maximum sentence Daunte Wright's family asked the judge to impose.
To those who disagree and feel a longer prison sentence is appropriate, as difficult as it may be, please try to empathize with Ms. Potter's situation. Officer Kimberly Potter was trying to do the right thing. Officer Potter made a mistake that ended tragically. She never intended to hurt anyone.
Compare the 2 years Kim Potter was given for killing someone to the sentence given to Pamela Moses last month for just trying to register to vote. 6 years in prison. Moses was out on felony probation. Records show her probation officer actually told her she had done her time and even signed the official paperwork to have her voting rights restored. The tears of white women have been given power in the U.S. justice system beyond any facts. I'll give you an example. Take Debbie Bosworth and Carla Hopkins. Bosworth, a white woman, stole $250,000 worth of public money and was given 2 years of probation. Hopkins, a black woman, stole $40,000 from the school district and was given 18 months in prison. That same week, in the same courtroom. Daunte Wright's father, Aubrey, made note of this phenomenon playing out in the sentencing.
It was like they were so tied up into her feelings and what's going on with her that they forgot about my son being killed. I walk out of this courthouse feeling like people are laughing at us because this lady got a slap on the wrist and we still every night sitting around crying, waiting on my son to come home.
Daunte's mother, Katie, who also happens to be a white woman, saw this too.
We're very disappointed in the outcome. Yes, we got a conviction, and we thank everybody for that. But again, this isn't okay. This is the problem with our justice system today. White women's tears trumps justice.
The power of white women tears. It's backed up by facts. Black people receive 20% longer sentences than white people for the same exact crime. When it comes to white women, they're imprisoned at a rate 1.7 times less than black women. Joining me now to discuss is Debbie Hines. She's a trial attorney and former prosecutor, and Dr. Anthea Butler, professor and chair of religious studies at the University of Pennsylvania. Dr. Butler, let's start with you. What kind of protections are white women getting in the eyes of the law?
White women have been getting protections in the eyes of the law since slavery. And I think we need to understand what happened today as not just a present day problem, but a historical problem in America. Anytime a white woman cries, anytime a white woman does something wrong, she is absolved of guilt or is made not to pay the full price for anything that she does. And so when Dante Wright's mother got up and read her victim statement, which I listened to today, I thought maybe, just maybe, this judge would have enough damn common sense to bring down the sentence that should have been. But instead, she decided to cry with the white oppressor, an Asian American woman sitting there deciding to go ahead and cry with the person that killed Dante Wright. I ask everyone tonight to just consider that for a minute and consider how white supremacy engulfs everyone. It doesn't matter what race you are, doesn't matter what you do, but if you want to bow down to that God, then today is a good day to see how Judge Chu really just destroyed Dante Wright's family. And to Dante Wright's family, I just want to say, I am so sorry. And I hope that you are suing and that you will end up getting paid, but that will never bring your son back. And it is disgusting that he had to die at the hands of this ignorant woman who will only serve 16 months because she cried on the stand and made the judge feel bad.
Debbie, why did Judge Chu mention President Barack Obama?
You know, when she did that, I'm thinking that is just adding insult to injury. I could not believe that. She read off of something from President Obama, one of those, oh, just understand, put yourself in the other person's shoes. She never once put herself in the shoes of the victim. That is what she should have done as a judge. The defendant is a convicted, felon now. That is just despicable. It was one of those, well, let's all get along. Everything that this judge did was in support of Kim Potter. Every single thing. And I've seen a lot of things in court as a trial attorney and as a former prosecutor, but I'll be quite honest, this judge, she didn't just slap her on the wrist. She spit in the face of the family of Dante Wright. And I am just still so outraged as to what happened. I thought there was going to be some measure of justice when the jury convicted Kim Potter. I thought there was going to be some measure of justice when Judge Chu remanded the defendant immediately after she was convicted and let her off into jail. But at the end of the day, she gave her one tenth of the sentence that was the maximum sentence. So it's just really outrageous. I mean, she was basically playing Kim Potter's defense attorney today. That is what we saw.
Dr. Butler, I was really struck by Dante Wright's mother, who acknowledged that she is white and she thought that she would be able to use her privilege, that she could be a shield for her son. What is this telling us about mixed families, about the hold that white supremacy still has on our society?
Basically, what it says is they considered her to be just like a black woman today. They did not care. She had a black son. She's black in their eyes. And so the fact that she got up and made this very eloquent statement about her son and how this had affected the family, how Dante's father got up and said the same thing. I mean, it is incredible to me that they did not even pay attention and did not care for her feelings, the parents' feelings, father's feelings, anybody's feelings. It was only about Kim Potter. And so I think what we could see today is it's not just about race here. I also think that this is a class issue. It's a class issue because they saw them as being more lower class than Kim Potter because Kim Potter was a cop. Well, we know one of the things about police officers is that they don't have much education in the first place. This is one of the jobs you can take and not have to be educated. Now, I'm not picking on anybody about that. What I am saying is that in the eyes of Judge Chu, what meant more to her was that Kim Potter was a cop and that you had a mixed race couple in front of her that she did not deign to respect their relationship as parents to Dante Wright. They did not care. It was as though he was trash. And I find what she did today despicable, and Kim Potter is despicable too. I don't think, as his mother said, I don't think she deserves forgiveness. And I think I'll just be very clear about this. Black people, all of us are too quick to forgive when these kinds of people do these kinds of acts. Stop forgiving these folks for things that they don't care about and that they actually do because they believe that they are right.
I have a hard time seeing forgiveness not just for Kim Potter, but also for Judge Chu. And we talk about people of color, but this was a case that made it so clear that America is about blackness and whiteness. And if you come anywhere near blackness, as the case of Daunte Wright's mother did, that is where you are. And Judge Chu in this scenario really, I mean, that proximity to whiteness clearly got under her skin and into how she approached her job. Debbie, your response.
Basically, Judge Chu was standing in the shoes of Kim Potter today. And it was really the most disgusting thing that I have seen in a long time. And I've seen a lot. I mean, she was basically, she was really honestly doing, as I said, a defense argument. There was no different. I mean, she knocked down everything that the prosecutor had said, and how she could say that this was not any aggravating factors when the woman killed someone. I mean, that is the most aggravating factor. She is a police officer whose job is to protect and serve. She just totally overlooked that. But these judges, they're in court every single day when they're on a criminal docket, and they're basically looking at the police each and every time. And so that is where her motive was. And in this case, it was, of course, a white woman police who during the trial dressed up like a white soccer mom. And all of that fed into what the judge was thinking today in terms of sentencing. She said there were 100 letters. It was like she was stacking the deck, completely stacking the white card deck against the family of Daunte Wright. And I do feel so bad for that family today. But here's the other interesting thing for people to watch out from the legal aspect. It may not be over, because a defense can file a motion for reconsideration of this measly little sentence that they got today. So they still have that right. They can file a motion for reconsideration to seek to get even less time than what she's actually going to serve. So watch out for that.
Oh, not only is there an appeal, but let's also, there's reports that it's a 2-year sentence. It's 16 months plus 8 months already for probation and time served. So it's less than even what we're hearing reported. Dr. Butler, I'm going to give you the final word, because we talked about blackness. You mentioned class. What do we need to do to unpack or change the fact that police officers, for simple reason of having put on that uniform, have been elevated in society to a point where instead of being held more accountable for their power, they're held less accountable?
They're held less accountable because we believe in this country, a lot of us do, not myself, but a lot of us believe that this policing is important and necessary. And quite frankly, we have too many police that aren't doing anything in the first place except shaking down Black people. This is the holdover from the 19th century, when you had patty rollers and others there to make sure that Black people stayed in their place. And this is what happened to Daunte Wright. He gets pulled over for something that's an infraction, and then she ends up pulling out her gun instead of a taser. That's ridiculous. It didn't have to happen. But the reason why we are here is because we have 400 years of this mess of racism in this country, where white people believe that they can police every Black person that they see. It is wrong. And so what I hope is that for Kim Potter, I don't wish anything good for her. I'm sorry, I don't. And I don't wish anything good for Judge Chu either, because they will have to stand in judgment in public for the kind of thing that happened today. And what I wish for for the parents here is that they would get some peace, that I hope that they are going to sue Minneapolis. Minneapolis, you have a problem. There are too many Black people dying in that city because you got trigger-happy cops.
Well, and you also have an attorney general and district attorney who thought this all should have gone down quite differently. Debbie Hines,
Absolutely.
Dr. Anthea Butler, thank you both for joining us tonight.